Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa. I will be your facilitator this evening. Welcome to our virtual college fair for the Western Association for College Admission Counseling. Just a few housekeeping reminders before we get started with tonight's session. Your camera and microphones are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. But if you want to ask anyone a question, feel free to use that Q&A function on your screen to ask any of our colleges and universities any questions that may come up throughout the session this evening. Now, this recording will be available after we are done tonight. So you can find the recording at strivescan.com/WACAC. And at this time, I would like to turn it over to our first institution, CalArts.
Hello, hopefully you can hear me. Great, I had to take myself off mute. Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Whitmire. Welcome to CalArts. I'm one of 6 admissions counselors here at CalArts. We're located in sunny California over here. You can almost throw a rock to downtown LA. We're in Santa Clarita. So one of the things I like to highlight is we're founded by Walt and Roy Disney. And during that time, they were working on Mary Poppins. So how many of you have seen Mary Poppins? Hopefully there's some virtual heads nodding. Maybe there's some hands raising in the air. Well, during that production, Walt and Roy were working on Mary Poppins, this old nostalgic version. And there's a lot of dance, there's a lot of animation, there's a lot of graphic design, that list goes on, really in one project. So Walt and Roy were really inspired by that. So that's one of the reasons why we do have 6 schools under one roof. So we do have the School of Dance, Film, Video, Music, Theater, Critical Studies. And I think I'm missing one in there. Theater, Dance, Music, Theater, Critical Studies, and it's gonna come to me. Sorry, just because of the 6 minutes, I'm gonna keep moving here. But I also wanted to highlight one of the things that makes this very unique as well is that collaboration. So with all the schools under one roof, you may come in as a character animator or you may come in as a performance major, and primarily you have all these artists at your fingertips. And sometimes that is the best possible resource. Some of the nuts and bolts when you're applying to the school overall is we do about 1 generic application, and then the varying factor is going to be the portfolio or the audition. So that varies from program to program and school to school. So you just want to make sure you have an active relationship with our website just to make sure that you get all the documents that you need. We also have an associate director with each of the different schools as well. So each of the 6 schools does have their own associate director as well. So you can definitely utilize them as a resource. And even if I don't have a moment to really talk to you guys today, you can always sign up for all of their office hours as well. The other thing I think that's very vibrant about the campus and our life as well at CalArts is we do have over 40 active clubs. So even though it is this conservatory setting, there is a really great college experience overall that is had within CalArts. And all of our academic courses are going to be designed for the life of an artist. So we don't have Algebra 8 or Chemistry 19. I don't even know if those classes exist. But what does exist is, anatomy for the dancer, anatomy for the animator. There's grant writing courses. They talk about marketing yourself on social media versus marketing yourself on a website. So a lot of these different ideas are what we build around our critical studies classes. So you do get in your undergraduate degree, it would be a BFA degree, Bachelor of Fine Arts. So I think that it's very exciting that you right out of the gate, you start thinking and start collaborating like a working artist. And I do think that that speaks to some of the success of our alumni. We do have a lot of different resources across the greater Los Angeles area. So even though we are in this great bubble of Santa Clarita, we do have the Red Cat, which is the downtown theater that showcases a lot of different new work and also curated work too. So both visual and performance-based. I know that I'm talking a mile a minute, but I'm looking at my breakdown here of everything that I want to make sure that I go over. The other thing is we do require 2 letters of recommendation. And one of the things I like to hit home with that too is we're primarily going to be that art school. So we really want to get to know who you are as an artist in your art making practice. So reaching out to people that can really speak to that, I think goes a long way. We also ask for an artist statement. And what I like to say about the artist statement is don't think of it as a paper necessarily that an English teacher is assigning, but think of it really as a personal diary. I think it's your opportunity for us to see who you are as an artist and know a bit more about you. In our art program, they believe in conceptual art, and that's the idea determines the medium. And I would say that lingers across all the different schools. So we really want to know why you're creating art, why you're developing, why you chose that monologue, what faculty maybe you want to explore, what you want to do in 5 years, 10 years. So really, again, think of that as a personal diary and a moment for you to just freely write about who you are. All of our faculty, I would say, is working artists, and they really walk the walk and talk the talk with that. So you can definitely jump on our website and see if there's a certain school or a certain program that you're looking at. You can definitely take advantage of that as well. One of the other things I think that's vibrant is we also offer faculty mentorships. So students alongside of the faculty have opportunities to really grow an artistic relationship alongside of an academic relationship. So it definitely is helpful for different internship opportunities that could definitely flourish, or different basically, it tailors an individualized experience for your 4 years of your undergrad. So being very open and honest with them can definitely help with the critical studies classes and make sure that you're getting everything that you need. So we're very intimate. We're a little under 1,500 students overall, and that's across all 6 schools. Our student to faculty ratio is going to be about 7-to-1. And then on top of that as well, we do have graduate programs that do intersect with our undergraduates in production. So it's a great opportunity, I think, to work and get different opportunities to build up partnerships too at CalArts. The other thing that I want to highlight with our program too is 29%. It went up this year, but I was thinking it was 28, but it went up. 29% of our student body is international. So I think that that's incredible. And one of the things that keeps me very inspired is we really look at art on a global scale, not just a CalArts lens or a California lens, but it's really great overall to know that we have 29% of our student body is going to be international based. I'm happy to answer any questions directly too. I will put my email in here. I'm the associate director for dance, but I also speak to all of the different schools and the different programs as well. So without further ado, I feel like I can turn it over. I'm staring at this really great little green dot. So if you do have any questions, I'll put my email in. Thank you, Melissa.
Awesome. Next up, we have Cornish College of the Arts.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks, Melissa. I'm going to pull up my screen. Great. Fantastic. Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name is Albert Rubio, and I'm one of the admissions counselors at Cornish College of the Arts. And Cornish is the premier visual and performing arts college in the Pacific Northwest, and we are located in Seattle, Washington. We're over 100 years old, and we are one of the few arts colleges in the country where visual and performing artists actually get to study together. You just heard from one of the other ones right before us. This is our founder, Nellie Cornish, and she and the many teaching artists who followed her really believed in an innovative approach to arts education that was exposing all of their artists to multiple different art forms. And that perspective really led to some of the greatest innovations in the arts during the early 20th century. It shaped much of how we create and appreciate work today. And it also helped to put the Pacific Northwest and specifically Seattle on the map as a thriving arts community. And our mission here is to provide students like you who are aspiring to become practicing artists with an educational program of the highest possible quality in an environment that nurtures creativity and intellectual curiosity, while preparing you to contribute to society as artists, citizens, and innovators. And we realize this mission by offering baccalaureate studies in the performing and the visual arts, and by serving as a focal point for public presentation, artistic criticism, participation, and discussion of the arts. Our degrees are also designed to help you build all of the skills that you would need to navigate the professional landscapes of the 21st century. And we're going to be educating you in critical thinking, creative problem solving, collaboration, as well as the generation of new work. You'll be focusing on traditional, interdisciplinary, and experimental art forms. And your faculty members at Cornish are actually professional working artists, and they're committed mentors as well. So they maintain thriving careers in their respective fields. They maintain all of their industry connections, and that really provides them with all of the knowledge and the skill necessary to train artists of today because they're still making work today. The Cornish community is also dedicated to small classes, mentorship, and personalized instruction. So our average class size is about 13 students, and our faculty to student ratio is 1-to-7. So as an artist studying at Cornish, you're going to get all of that individualized and personal instruction that's super important to a successful arts education. So Cornish is an urban campus, and we are located right in the heart of downtown Seattle, and we are immersed within the arts and culture of the city. So Seattle is one of the world's epicenters for the visual and the performing arts, and that really makes it an ideal city to pursue an artistic education. Seattle houses some of the country's best live music, theater and dance companies, a popular music scene that has garnered national as well as international attention. about 20 live theater venues. And we also have Pioneer Square, which is known as one of the country's most prominent art gallery districts. We're also home to the Fifth Avenue Theater, which is known for producing new musicals before they head to Broadway, Seattle International Film Festival, the largest independent film festival in the country, Seattle Art Museum, and the Upstream and Bumbershoot Music Festivals, just to name a few of the many, many arts organizations you'd have the opportunity to interface with. Essentially, Seattle is really a thriving professional community for practicing artists and designers, and Cornish has been at the forefront of that creative scene for more than 100 years. In terms of our exact location in the city, we're located right in Seattle's South Lake Union District, which if you're not familiar with Seattle, that's where Amazon maintains most of their campus spaces. And Cornish is surrounded by creative agencies, architecture and design firms, many nonprofits, and we're within walking distance from all of the prominent creative spaces for performance, art, and culture. So super great when you have an internship at one of those local organizations or companies. And you're going to find Cornish alumni, faculty, and current students making lots of bold, innovative work all over the city. You'll also have access to a variety of state-of-the-art creative and performance spaces, and these are available for use by all of our majors, regardless of their discipline. So visual artists are making art in individual and shared studios, materials labs, editing and recording suites, and so much more. We've actually got some new stuff coming online. And our performance artists are rehearsing, performing, and learning in a wide array of practice spaces, black box studios, historic concert halls, and the iconic Cornish Playhouse and Al Haddif Black Box Studio, which are located in Seattle Center. That's most famously where the Space Needle is, but also houses all of the city's major large-scale arts and performance venues as well. Currently, we're training students from 38 states and 18 countries. Many of them live right here in the Cornish Commons, which is our state-of-the-art 20-story residence hall that we had built with artists in mind. It features plenty of space and special amenities like private bathrooms, movement studios, practice rooms. There's even an art studio. 20th floor is also reserved just for residents, and it boasts amazing views of the city. So sometimes we're known as the BFA school, and we also only train undergraduates. So we really will be completely focused on you. These are some of the degrees we offer in the visual arts, performing arts. For music, we offer a Bachelor of Music, and then we have some Bachelor of Arts options for transfer students. We did also lower tuition in 2019, 2020, which was a super cool move that the college made, and we were the first and only art college in the country to do that. If you're interested in applying to Cornish, you can go to apply.cornish.edu/apply, or you can apply through the Common App as well. And priority consideration is given to students who apply for admission and financial aid by our early action deadline of December 1. And all of those applying for scholarship consideration should apply by February 15th. After the February 15th deadline, applications are going to be considered on a space available basis. So thanks so much for listening, everyone. And I really hope that some of you will consider looking more into Cornish College of the Arts this year.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Laguna College of Art and Design.
Thank you. My name's Annie Lucido. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Get this started. All right, so, oops, that's at the very end. All right. Okay, so I'm an admissions counselor at Laguna College of Art and Design. We call it LCAD for short. We're located in Laguna Beach, which is in South Orange County. So just south of Los Angeles. You know, on a busy day, it probably takes an hour and a half to get there. But we are, you know, not too far from a lot of important entertainment studios, of course. So those are important for our alumni and our faculty. Okay, if you haven't been to Laguna Beach, if you're not familiar with the area, just know that it is a very popular, scenic beach town. It's a little secluded from the rest of Orange County and LA, certainly for that matter. But it is really well known for its art scene. It was founded by artists in like the late 1800s as an arts colony. So that's why there's such a rich tradition of art there. Tons of galleries, tons of studios, a really great museum, and of course a college in the canyon. We technically have more than one campus. Main campus is our traditional media location where we have our drawing and painting studios and our sculpture studio, a really beautiful outdoor park, the library, the student lounge. And then right around the bend in the canyon is our Big Bend campus. That's our digital media location. So we have all the graphic design, game art, animation studios here, downshooter labs, Cintiq labs. So it's definitely more of our computer space. And I'm going to play a video here. It's going to be quick, I promise. But it's going to highlight all the different majors we offer. So I have to emphasize, LCAT is super small. We are kind of not well known for that reason. You know, we only have 6 different BFA degree programs. So we're really focused on just those few majors that we offer. We only have about 700 students total, and our average class size is about 15 students. So animation is really one of the majors that we're best known for because we do have a more traditional approach. So it's really focused on hand-drawn 2D animation. So think like Disney classics, The Jungle Book, for example. That's like a really beautifully drawn film. And that's something that is really hard to come by now at a lot of colleges. So if you're into that type of animation, that full, you know, very naturalistic hand-drawn look, that's something that we specialize in. We do have an experimental animation major now that is geared more towards digital platforms in 3D and stop motion and more limited lower frame rate. Of course, entertainment design, I think we've passed that one already, is a really popular major now. It's getting hard to get into that program. It's focused on concept art for the entertainment industry. Game art is a really similar program. Same thing, concept art, but just for the game industry. There is a bit more 3D in that program. Graphic design and digital media, everyone needs a designer. Everyone knows how crucial that role is in society. And illustration is kind of like a catch-all major, in my opinion. It has a lot to do with a lot of the other ones. You know, focused on drawing and painting technique, but all about storytelling, all about visual communication, and definitely more of a commercial approach than, of course, the fine art program. And something you'll notice about LCAD is our fine art program is unique because it's focused on representational art, figurative drawing and painting and sculpture. So that's something that's pretty hard to find, a program that's solely focused on that type of work. So we're well known for that too. Okay, I forgot to set my timers. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the time. All right, and I'm going to kind of highlight some important things about the admissions process for you guys because all of that is so confusing. So it's free to apply to LCAD. We don't charge an application fee. We do have an early action deadline, that's December 1st, but it's not a hard deadline and it actually doesn't make much of a difference in your scholarship amount. So if you're finding that you need more time, if it's worth it to take the time to push your portfolio further, I highly recommend not trying to rush to make that December 1st date. Technically, the final deadline is August 1st, although I do not recommend waiting that long. We do need an official transcript, of course, from your high school and any colleges you've attended, a short essay. There's a couple prompts you can choose from. It only needs to be 500 words, so I always tell students to get that done early as opposed to putting it off till the end. We don't look at SAT scores, any test scores actually, and we only require that you have a 2.5 GPA. So make sure you pass your classes, but don't stress out if you don't have a 4.0. Your portfolio is so much more crucial in our admissions process. Okay, let's talk about portfolio briefly. So LCAT is unique in that we want to see major specific portfolios because right away as a freshman, you start in your major. You start taking classes specifically for your major. So we don't have a foundation year where everybody takes all the same classes. And for that reason, we want to see that you have that focus even this early on in the admissions process. And that's difficult to navigate. It's difficult to interpret portfolio guidelines, but that's my job to help you understand exactly what to include in your portfolio. So I'm available. Any of our admissions counselors are available for preliminary feedback on your work, and just make sure you get really familiar with our guidelines. This tuition, that number is actually a little bit higher now. It's about $34,000 a year. So LCAD, of course, it's a private school, but we are one of the most affordable art schools on the West Coast by far. And every student gets a merit scholarship. The average merit scholarship we award is about $8,000. So your tuition is going to be, not quite that high, but it's worth it to really push yourself with your portfolio. I can skip housing if I'm running out of time here. And I'll just end with my contact info there in case you want to take a screenshot. So again, I'm Annie with CETO. I'm an admissions counselor. And I'll give you all the info you need and any portfolio feedback you'd like. Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, next up we have Verto Education.
Cool. Thank you, Melissa. My name is Marcelo Gomez. I'm the Regional Admissions Counselor for Verto Education. And my role here is to travel throughout the United States and educate students on virtual education. Virtual education has only been around for 3 years, actually 4 years, I'm sorry. And let me pull up a PowerPoint presentation so I can follow with you guys. So let me just share my screen really quick. And hopefully I got the right one. Here we are. Cool. So hopefully you guys can see my screen here. Just to kind of give you a little bit of a background as to why I'm wearing a t-shirt. So here at Verto, we want not only the employees, but also the students to be themselves. So I chose to wear a t-shirt to all my presentations, just to kind of show the student that we just want you to be yourself. So now, what is virtual education? Virtual education doesn't have a physical location. We offer programs throughout the world. So this is an opportunity for students, first-year college students, to study abroad. We have many different countries that students would travel to stay 1 semester or a full year just to take general education credits. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a background on virtual education, I'm actually going to play this video that can kind of highlight some of the points and some of the countries that we send our students in order to study abroad. So our mission is to help students discover themselves and the world around them by making education abroad a foundational and accessible part of four-year college education. And our values was founded to make travel path of at least resistant to college education. And we believe in inclusion, transparency, access, equity, and above all, the power of travel to foster empathy and kindness across the cultures. So what that means is, some students, they want to travel right after high school. They want to take a gap year so they can travel and also earn college credits. So how do we do that? We partner with major colleges throughout the United States in order to make that happen for students. So it is an affordable, accredited global academic semester or year. It's guaranteed admission to a top Verto partner colleges. And I'll show you the list of the different colleges that we already partner with. And that list, it only lists the amount of colleges that we partner with from a month ago. So we've added a few more to that list. So this is the list here. And the way we guarantee enrollments to these colleges is that you have to get accepted into the Berto Education program. And of course, we will walk you through the whole process and work with you to the end until you're ready to come back into the state and start college at your college of choice. If you don't have a partner college, a lot of the classes that you will take, they can potentially transfer to other colleges that is not listed on our website. So if you have another college that's not listed on our website, we'll work with you in that college to ensure that those credits would transfer over once you finish the program. So on average, the duration is about 14.5 weeks. Program cost, depending on the location, is between $5,000 to $22,500. And financial aid is available to those who qualify. So if you qualify for student loans or grants or scholarships, that can be applied to that total to reduce the cost of the program. Now, travel to get to and from the country that you decided to go to, that's the responsibility of the student. But as far as accommodation, there are many different accommodation options depending on the country that you're in, and that's actually incorporated into the program cost. There are also excursions that that students would do while in the country and studying, and that's also part of the program cost. We do require students to be at least 18 years old by June 1st for the fall 2022 or whatever class year they're looking to start. And there's also a passport requirement. So all that you have to be able to get before you get to travel to that country. And the amount of college credits is between 12 and 16 credits that you will earn by studying abroad. Of course, safety is always a #1 priority here, especially like you're going to be in another country. So there are different organizations that we ensure that our students are registered with, and also give them contact information, not only to them, but also family members, so they can know where their students are at all times. So that is always our #1 priority. During COVID, when students had to come back because everything was being closed down, we managed to get over 600 students back home safely. So we definitely take a lot of pride in the safety of our students. These are some of the countries. Some of the countries that you saw in the video are not available at the moment because of COVID and other situations, but these are the 5 different locations that we're currently operating in. So Seville, Costa Rica, Florence, Hawaii, and London currently. And just to kind of give you an idea of some of the classes that you will take, I'm going to kind of skim through these slides so you can kind of see the location, the living situation, and that sort of thing. Because I'm restricted on time right now, and I already got my cue that my time is about to expire. The admissions process is pretty much connecting with an admissions advisor, so they can do a thorough interview with you guys and your family to see if you're a right fit for the program. And once that's determined, they'll go through every single process with you until you get to travel. And then when you travel, you still have support. You still have somebody in touch with you to make sure that everything is going well for you. Just to kind of give you a student timeline, again, I flipped through these slides, and hopefully you can pause the video just to kind of get highlighted points. But if you want additional information and you would like to talk to myself or one of the admissions counselors, feel free to scan the QR code there, or you can always email me or the admissions department to get additional information. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have DigiPen Institute of Technology.
Hello, thank you for having us here today, and thanks for being here. My name is Katie Clark. I work with the Office of Admissions and Outreach at DigiPen Institute of Technology. We are a private 4-year university located in Redmond, Washington. Our area of expertise includes all different areas of study that cover game design and development and interactive media and technology. Most of our students are interested in going into the game design or game development fields. We were founded in 1988 by the co-founder of Nintendo of America. So as you can imagine, we still have a good relationship with Nintendo, as well as a number of other game companies in the Redmond area. If you're not familiar with Redmond, Washington, it is just across the water from Seattle, about 16 miles east across Lake Washington. It's a beautiful place to live, but I am a little bit biased. Some of the game companies located in our area, hopefully you have heard of if you are interested in the game development industry, but some of these are even located within just a walk from our campus. So 343 Industries and Turn 10 Studios are located in Redmond Town Center, which is probably about a 10-minute walk from our campus. Nintendo and Microsoft are about a 5-minute drive down the street. Oculus actually shares a parking lot with us. So there's over 450 gaming and tech companies in a 20-mile radius of our campus. And our alumni have gone on to work at all of these companies and actually to help ship over 1,600 commercial titles to date. We offer 10 degree programs total that I'll cover in just a minute, but Our average class size is about 18 students, so we are a pretty tight-knit community. We have about 1,100 students total, and our student to faculty ratio is about 10-1. So a really fantastic opportunity to get to know your community, network with faculty and staff, folks who are still working in the game development industry or animation industries, as well as, of course, the students that you're in classes with. We were also ranked #1 in Washington State for return on investment by a Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce Study. And that's ranked in the top 1% of all colleges and universities in the United States. So our graduates are pretty reliably able to find gainful employment and think of the degree from us as a good investment. But that's a lot of numbers I'm throwing at you. So why don't I let you see for yourself a snippet of what our campus has to offer. So everything that you just saw on screen was an example from a student project or students at work. All of our degree programs fall into one of these 4 main areas of study: computer science, game design, music and audio, or digital art and animation. And all 4 of those different areas get to work together in collaborative projects, starting your sophomore year. So you're not waiting until your senior year to work on these projects that are vital to building your portfolio and learning professional skills. But you're doing them all the way starting in your sophomore year, and you work on 3 to 4 different full-length projects during your time with us. We offer both bachelor's degrees and master's degrees as listed on the screen. So take a look at those different types of areas of study and concentrations, and please let me know if you have any questions about those. Like I said, our academic approach is very project-based. We do the first year, year and a half are really focused on building your fundamentals, making sure you're an expert in your craft. And then we continue teaching those while giving you an opportunity to get hands-on experience in those projects, which again is really huge for us and for our students. If you're interested in any of these areas of study, here's some things you can think about. If you're interested in a Bachelor of Science program or going into programming, you should have pre-calculus with a B- or better at minimum for most of our CS degrees. But really, if you can do any math or physics studies in high school, that is helpful. If you're interested in design, get a well-rounded background, think about why people play different types of games and what makes them interesting. If you're interested in going into the arts, develop a foundation in drawing from observation and build your portfolio. And then for music and sound design, we do expect proficiency in music, ability to read sheet music, and that you pick an instrument to focus on. Our enrollment options, typically we do recommend that students enroll in the fall. However, we are offering spring enrollment for a number of programs this year. So if that's something you're interested in, there is still time, just reach out and let me know. Otherwise, our priority application deadline for next fall is going to be February 1st. And our application will be opening here shortly on our website. Here's some different ways to connect with us. We have virtual events and in-person events happening right now. We're open for tours. We're hosting a preview day in a couple of weeks. And we have a number of online events and ways to connect with us. But if you're interested in any of that, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is on my background, and our general department contact information is on the screen here if you wanted to take a quick snippet. But thanks for listening today.
All right, and last but not least, we have Kaiser University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan. I'm an admissions officer from Keiser University. We're located in West Palm Beach, Florida. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what we have to offer. First question, probably going through your heads, is why Kaiser? Well, we have a long history of putting our students first, as well as providing our students a hands-on education. Our student to faculty ratio is on average of 15:1, which means if you have any questions, anything like that, never get left behind, just ask and you shall receive. 76 million in scholarship funds awarded academically over the past few years. So we do offer a lot of scholarship. I've seen those ranging from 6,000, to 15,000. So depending on what you're looking for, it's there. The first thing that you guys are going to have to start dealing with probably about now is going to be your application process. So I just want to give you guys a quick look at what that's going to look like, regardless of where you're probably going to be going. So we are personally rolling admissions, which means as you get your applications in, we look at them and we accept you. So the earlier you do it, the better, that's going to be for you. You can submit your application one of two ways. We do accept the common application. However, you can speak to me. We also have our own application. Could possibly be free. So reach out to your admissions officer and talk to them about, the free application and all that good stuff. We will require your transcripts. However, we are test score optional. So if you weren't able to take the SAT or ACT due to COVID or, whatever, life going on, that's absolutely fine. We also have an entrance test if necessary. So if, you were that type of student that started off high school, not necessarily where you needed to be, but had that upswing, still that kept your GPA down, you can still supplement it with the entrance assessment. So that's a good thing as well. That is mandatory for our nursing program, but it's not mandatory for the others. After that, you're going to fill out your FAFSA and attach it to your schools. Now, what we have is we have our financial aid officers available to help. So whether you're, at the FAFSA, you have questions about filling it out, all of that stuff is there. It's a phone call away. From there, just sending in your deposit and joining the Seahawk family. And as I have there, and as I've said throughout, help is available at any step. Now, we do have a bunch of career-focused programs. Our 5 largest are going to be our nursing, our business, our biomedical science, criminal justice, and golf management. However, we do have over 100 different programs from applied engineering, cinematic arts, psychology, interdisciplinary study, where you can take 2 different, programs, whether it be business and social media communications, and build them into one concise program that'll help you be a better, fit for that career that you're looking for. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on these programs just because of the fact that I don't have a lot of time, but I will have them up here. That way, if you guys want to go back and look over, you absolutely can. Now, the dedication to student success. You can sign up online for free peer tutoring. So if you're having issues with your classes, anything like that, you don't want to go to your professor, but you want to, sit down with another student who's done well in the class, you can sign up for that. You could see the page right behind. And it's as easy as that. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, if you'd rather, get into the nuts and bolts of it with your professor, they have fixed office hours for students. However, if that doesn't work for you, if your schedule's just set up in a, position where you're not available when your professor is, send them an email and they will set up a time that works for both of you. We also have a dedicated team of career services who help our graduating seniors prepare for what's next, whether that's, setting up your resumes, whether that's, getting a portfolio, anything that you're going to need for that next step, you go to career services and they will help you with that. Campus life. So we have 2 of our dormitories. They're both suite style. So the housing there are singles mostly for, medical reasons, but there are singles there as well. But typically you're going to be looking at, doubles and, up to like triples. So you're going to have 2 rooms with a common area. Each room has its own bathroom that's split between the 2 to 3 people in that room. We are located 10 minutes from downtown West Palm Beach. So the beaches, shopping, restaurants, it's all 10 minutes away. We do have an Olympic swimming pool located on campus, as well as a driving range, as well as an esports facility. We're very proud of our Seahawks. We are proud members of the NAIA conference. We have over 20 NAIA teams. However, we also do have club teams. One of our brand new varsity teams is esports. So if that's something you're into, you can absolutely, participate in that. If you need help getting in touch with any coaches, again, reach out to your admissions officer and we'd be happy to help. With a 3.02 cumulative average, our athletes have the same success on and off the field, which just goes to show, with, setting up schedules and everything like that. Our students, even if you choose to pick up that additional burden, not necessarily a burden, but having that additional, stuff taking up your schedule, you can still be successful, as many of our students are. Now, another big question, especially with everything going on, is, what's going on with COVID and all of that good stuff. We were lucky and fortunate enough last year that we did not have to shut down. We, stuck by CDC guidelines, and we were able to keep our students that could not learn online on campus, for as long as they needed to be. We did this by, lessening the amount of people in each room, as well as providing tests to students and faculty on campus as well. Now, biggest thing that I like to tell students is when you're choosing a campus, you want to set up a visit. You want to see where you're going to be going, and you want to get a feel for where you're going to be. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can set up a visit if you want to fly over, or we also have what we call Seahawk Saturdays, which are once a month. We do have, if you go to kuseahawknation.com, you can RSVP, and it's just like this. It's a Zoom, and you can get a good idea of what we have going on campus and speak with, professors, and we do have programmatic ones as well. If anyone has any questions, concerns, anything like that, you want to reach out to me, here's my information, my email, jwarshall@kaiseruniversity.edu, as well as my work cell. So if you want to give me a call, shoot me a text, either of those is perfectly fine. With that, I'm going to give it back to Melissa, and everyone have a good one.
All right, thank you so much. So thank you so much to everybody who came out tonight. And thank you so much to our reps this evening also for joining us and sharing some awesome information about their institution. So I just want to thank you again. And there is a quick survey after you leave our session this evening. It's just 5 questions about how the session was. If you want to just answer that for us, we would love to hear your feedback. This recording also will be available at strivescan.com/WACAC. I would just like to thank everybody again for attending, and also our college reps for taking the time this evening to share some awesome information about their institutions and also to share their knowledge with our prospective students. Best of luck to our college reps this year in their admissions cycle, and also best of luck to our prospective students on their college search and journey. Good night, everybody.